AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Talk to Mike Triplett here in about a dozen minutes from right now. Saints re-signed Cam Jordan. First day of the mandatory minicamp was today. So I'll get Mike's thoughts on that coming up in just a little bit. By the way, we also do have updated college football conference championship odds. Notably, you would think the Big 12 would have shifted with the Brennan Sorsby news. We'll get into all that coming up here at the bottom of this hour. Okay. Lane Kiffin and this LSU staff, they are on a heater. It was really quiet around recruiting leading up into June where they had just 4 commits for the class of 2027. And now all of a sudden, kaboom. A couple of weekends ago, they doubled that number in a span of 4 hours. On Monday, they added 2 offensive linemen. And here on Tuesday, it sounded like this when 4-star running back Tre Segarra committed to the Tigers.
For the next 3 or 4 years, I'll be continuing my academic and athletic career at the Louisiana State.
Tre Segarra dropped to 3 to 4 years, and the Louisiana State University on his commitment. At least he's fair to say taking my talents too. Or did he say taking my talents too?
Oh Lord, I don't think he did.
Play.
For the next 3 or 4 years, I'll be continuing my academic and athletic.
Good. Continuing. Good. LeBron changed the world with the decision in 2010.
He ruined it for everybody.
Well, nobody ever said taking my talents to until LeBron said it on the decision in 2010, and now that's become a very familiar part of our vernacular, taking my talents to. In any event, Tre Segarra picks the Tigers. This was on the Rivals YouTube channel, by the way. He did talk about why he chose LSU.
Yeah, so throughout my recruitment, you hear these stories about people who've gone through it in the past, and they're like, you go on your OV, and you'll find this place, you'll go to this school, and they'll be like, wow, now you'll know that's the place. And that's kind of how it was. LSU hadn't been recruiting me the longest, but when I got on campus and met Coach Smith and Coach Kiffin, I was like, it was just kind of the people in the area. I was like, wow, this is what I want to be a part of. This is the culture that I want to help to build.
Love to hear that, man. And Tre Segarra, make no mistake, is an elite running back commitment. And I think this commitment, coupled with Brendan Lacey, who's already committed, and the fact that LSU is still hard after Trey Martin in the state of Louisiana, speaks volumes about the future of the running back position, which we're going to get to here in just a quick second. First, the thumbnail on Tre Segarra. 5'10", 210 pounds. He's out of Duncan, South Carolina. In the Rivals industry ranking, he's the number 143 prospect. So he's a top 150 player regardless of position. He's the number 7 running back. Both Rivals and 24/7 rank him as the 7th best running back in the country. ESPN has him as the 15th best running back. So no matter how you look at it, this is a guy with a ton of big-time program national interest. Say oftentimes, less concerned with the ranking and star rating. I'm way more concerned with who is recruiting you. Well, man, you look at the teams that have offered Tre Segarra: LSU, Tennessee, Clemson, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Stanford, Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, Penn State, Duke, Texas A&M, Michigan, Vanderbilt, Florida State. You get it. Syracuse, Boston College, Maryland. I mean, he's got major offers up and down the list. So big time prospect. I also think it is really interesting because of the way we've talked about how Kiffin and Glasscock are building this roster. I'm going to spare you the cut that I so often play, but I'll paraphrase it from Lane Kiffin in spring, where effectively he said, challenge our guy to evaluate character. Because most freshmen come here, it doesn't go well, and they leave. So we're not going to pay guys to come sit for a year and leave. So the guys they're going to pay are elite level dudes that are coming into play, or guys that it's not going to cost you anything to get them here, and they're good character guys that they think have a high ceiling. They're going to come, wait, stay, and develop. Now, you look at Tre Segarra, he is the former, not the latter. He is a top 150 player in the country. He is a top 10 running back. That is a dude that could have gone anywhere in the country and does not expect to sit and wait his turn. Tre Segarra is 5'10", 210 pounds, and he expects to go play as a freshman wherever he goes. And clearly, that's LSU. The reason that is interesting to me is because LSU returns Harlem Berry and Caden Durham, the top two rushers from this past year, and then they went out and added 4 running backs via the transfer portal. So the fact that they went and added 4 running backs via the portal, returned their top 2 guys, they got 6 running backs on the roster for 2026, and all 6 of them have eligibility beyond 26, meaning all 6 could be back for the 2027 season. But LSU's already got Lacey committed. Now they've got Segarra committed, and they're still going after Trey Martin, who he also is a top 10 running back in the country that many people at Franklin Parish Winsboro think is ultimately going to pick LSU. Well, you are loaded at that position. There is no reality where you're going to add 3 high school running backs to a group that already has 6. You're not going into 27 with 9 scholarship running backs. So I think adding a guy like Tre Segarra is a very, very clear message that they don't like their running back room. And they're looking for guys that can come in 27 and help immediately. Now, Harlem Berry is former 5-star. And LSU is paying Harlem Berry a high 6-figure number this year in Baton Rouge for his sophomore year. And my hope is that Harlem Berry follows a track like Kewan Lacey. I'm not telling you Harlem Berry is going to run for 1,500 yards and be an All-American. But but Kewan Lacey, as a freshman at Missouri, had 23 rushing attempts. Let me say that again slowly. Kewan Lacey at Missouri had 23 rushing attempts as a freshman. Transfers to Ole Miss, boom, 300 carries, 1,500 yards, All-American in this offense. My hope, I'm sure it's the hope of the staff as well, that's what Harlem Berry does this year. And we've gone over this a million times. 6 years at Ole Miss, all but 1 year, Lane Kiffin as a bell cow. A bell cow runner, the quarterback is the second leading rusher, and then they have another guy who gets some supplemental carries. I think this is really easy. Harlem Berry's the bell cow. Quarterback Sam Levitt will be the second leading rusher, and the guy who's next is Dylan Jones. By the way, Dylan Jones is the Wisconsin transfer, and in a spring practice that by and large was dominated by the offense, he was the newcomer standout. Lane Kiffin said as much in spring.
He looks really good, has come in and been good in protection, been good in his vision, his feet, running the ball, and has been really a bright spot. Like I said, where offensively we've struggled to find those. And obviously, again, the tackling part, is a difference in that position specifically. But for a guy that wasn't a headliner, he's played like it. And that's really critical, because that spot is extremely critical to have somebody or a number of people that, again, just like the quarterback spot, makes the plays when everybody's not blocked up and makes the significant plays, and he's done that.
They like him a lot, Dylan Jones. And Dylan Jones is a redshirt sophomore this year, so he's in his 3rd year, so he got 2 years of eligibility remaining. My point is, I think you go into this year, Berry is your guy, Levitt's going to be your number 2 rusher, your quarterback's going to be the second leading rusher, And then I think Dylan Jones is the other guy that's going to play a ton. He's going to block. He can catch the ball, short yardage, all that sort of stuff. Everybody else, I think their future on the roster is in question. And the fact that you look at Dylan Jones, and Dylan Jones is 5'11", 211. You look at Tre Segarra, who's now committed, 5'10", 210. I think it speaks to what they're looking for. You got the explosive guy in Barry. What you need is the big physical thumper who can block and all that stuff as well. Everybody, and by the way, if there was a next guy, I would say it was Stacey Gage, the Central Florida transfer. He's 5'10", 206. Rod Gainey, 5'9", 183. Racine Guillory, 5'10", 179. Caden Durham, 5'9", 200. Smaller guys that aren't as explosive as Harlan Berry. So I think what this staff is showing you, not what they're saying, what they're showing you is coming out of spring in those 15 practices, they were not impressed with this running back room. And the fact that all those guys have eligibility remaining doesn't matter a lick. They're going for numbers to fortify that room because a lot of those dudes aren't going to be back. I think Barry will be back for his junior year. I think they'd love for Dylan Jones, if he continues on this trajectory, would be back. But they need to build that room behind those guys. And that's what they're looking to do here with guys that might be able to make an impact immediately. And Tre Segarra, I think, is one of them. I mean, he's a top 10 running back in the country. And as we have very clearly identified, this staff is not paying freshmen to come and sit. They're just not going to invest money in players that are not going to play. You want to come and wait your turn and grow and develop? Awesome. You're a good character guy that wants to do that, fits the culture, and you're willing to come in and wait and learn? Okay. That's not Tre Segarra. I'm not saying Tre Segarra is not a character guy. What I'm saying is he's a highly rated enough guy with enough options that he's not going somewhere to sit. And he's certainly not going anywhere for free. So if you're going to pay him, you're going to expect him to play. And I think that's also an indicator of maybe the reality facing a lot of these guys whenever the season is over at running back. Tre Segarra, the 11th commit for LSU's 2027 class. Okay, it's after further review. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, locations all over South Louisiana, including Burbank, where I had a chance to visit with Danny Klein, the manager over there at Burbank, who was a pleasure to visit with him. He's certainly a rising star in that industry.
Well, when I first got in, I didn't know nothing about cars. I could put a spare tire on and check my oil level. As time go on, I learned the ins and outs of what each part of a component of a vehicle does. That grew my interest. The guy I had at my first store I ever worked at said you have a little insight, you can fast track you up front. You got the persona. So I like dealing with customers, helping take care of their issues, making sure they're safe on the road, and it just stuck with me. Another indication why Shaw Bills is a great place to work. They get guys who and ladies who come work at Shaw Bills, and they stay and they grow and they advance in their careers. And now Danny's running one of the bigger stores in the company there on Burbank. It was such a pleasure to go visit with him last week. Go see Danny Klein at the Burbank store or pop into any Shaw Bills location near you. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. And, of course, they'll keep you coming back because they treat you like family. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, we keep you rolling. Okay, not got a quick break, y'all. Mike Triplett is going to be here when we come back. He'll react to Cam Jordan returning to New Orleans, and then also the first day of mandatory minicamp. A lot to do, and glad you're here. It's AFR.
After further review.
I told you last week the story of Jacques Juge, an AFR listener who hired Darren James, but didn't initially, and this is what he said about that decision.
I let that one bite me in the butt, man, because I was going to go with Darren all along, and then I had someone stop by and, promised me the world and sold me rainbows and sunshines, and it didn't work out.
A full year with another realtor, didn't get the home sold, switched to Darren, got it sold closed in a month, and this is what stood out about Darren James.
I don't know how many customers he have. I'm sure it's a bunch with all his accolades, but he makes you feel like you're the only client that he has, and that's something that you don't get from dealing with other people. You feel like a priority to him at all times, which is nowadays unheard of.
You want to have the best possible experience, feel like a priority, and get results? You want Darren James. Agent225.com. Agent225.com.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Mike! Yeah?
New Orleans Saints coverage with some Mad Libs mixed in.
Why don't you just go by Mike?
It's time to talk black and gold with Mike Triplett of New Orleans.Football. Presented by Benny's Car Wash. Family owned and operated since 1951.
Oh, that reminds me, I got to go by Benny's because I got my new vehicle, so I got to get the sticker for the Wash Club membership.
You need to do that.
It's on my old windshield of my old car, so I got to get them. Yeah. Hey, Mike, how are you?
You don't just show up at Benny's and they just recognize you like Norm from Cheers and just give you what you need?
Okay, so I mean, yes. Yeah. But usually it's like, all right, here's the thing. In Baton Rouge, if there's a male between the age of our primary demo is 25, 54, but it might even skew, you can maybe expand that to 18, right? Sure. Generally, in this town, they are familiar with me. They see the bald head, beard, the whole thing, and they're like, Scone. So I'll pull into Benny's, and there's always, the guys pushing the button or whatever, putting the tape on the back. And so, yes, they generally do. They're very nice, and that's awesome. And but I still got to go, Mike. I mean, I still got to go get the sticker for the thing because it's like it's a little barcode. So you pull up, and it's got to read the barcode. So the little arm goes up. First world problems, man.
That's true. The arm. I mean, no matter how famous you get, the arm can't. I mean, I guess AI now, technology is getting better. Maybe car wash arms will start recognizing you too.
I mean, it still needs to read the barcode, man. So it's got to be there. Shout out as always. Good to hear from you, man. By the way, speaking of super famous and having lots of money, Cam Jordan has made about $150 million in contracts in his career. He's going to be back in New Orleans. Scale of 1 to 10, Mike, how surprised are you that Jordan's going to play another season in New Orleans?
Oh, not surprised at all. If this had happened sooner in the offseason, that I would have been like a 1 to 2. But he let it go longer than I expected. I mean, when it lasted into mid-June, I thought he either must have really been insulted by the offer that they made to him, or he must have really, started to settle with the idea like maybe I could live without football and started to enjoy it. But at least for the first 4 or 5 months of the offseason, this was the outcome I expected. I mean, and for all the reasons he said today, I mean, he couldn't really picture himself somewhere else. He couldn't really walk away. He still loves it too much. He's too competitive. He loves being at OTAs. He loves being in the locker room. Like, this really is his lifeblood. And I don't think it was about the money. I think it was about maybe the money was a little insulting, especially after he had that great season last year, and he was surprised they just made him the same offer again. And that, after he thought he gave back a lot last year, I thought he thought he proved something to them that the offer would go up. But other than getting past that, everything else fits here.
You said the word insulted or insulting twice in that answer. You obviously have covered Cam Jordan for 15 years. So, I mean, you know him certainly better than I do. How much does that feeling, right? I mean, the guy's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And to be, I'm not even going to say lowball because I think it's actually the appropriate offer, but to not get a better offer, how do you think Cam Jordan reacted to that?
I mean, I think probably disappointment would be the prevailing emotion. Like, I mean, your brain understands that's what happens when you're 37 years old in the league. And even though he did have the 10-plus sacks last year, it was trending a different direction before that. That was, his brain knows they should not bet on 10 more sacks this year. But one of his contemporaries is Cam Hayward for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's still getting $20 million. He's still the face of that franchise. Like, it's tough. Your brain might understand it, but you're kind of like, I might be on the Mount Rushmore of this franchise. Do the rules have to apply to me too?
Which is kind of wild, Mike, because the Saints, who have been a horrible cap team, have showed remarkable discipline in free agents, especially with their own. Where does that come from?
Well, it comes from necessity, for one thing. I mean, they've been jammed so close to the ceiling of the cap since about the year Cam Jordan started playing in the NFL, that they had to ask Deuce McAllister to take a pay cut. They had to ask Devery Henderson to take a pay cut. They certainly did it with Marcus Colston. They had to ask him to take a major pay cut. They've done it with Tyrann Mathieu. They've done it with Demario Davis. They've done it. They're maybe going to do it with Alvin Kamara. They've done it with Cam Jordan multiple times. So they can fit everyone under the cap. It's been a part of how they've done business. And I actually think one of the uglier parts of cap management is going to franchise icons and trying to shave $1 million here and shave $1 million there, which ultimately doesn't matter except for what it represents. So that has been a big part of their business model, to be honest.
Mike, on the field where you've got Chase Young, Carl Granderson, and then you went and added 2 additional players at that position.
Yeah.
How does Cam fit in, and what does it mean for the group that he's back? Because, Mike, you tell me if I'm wrong, but it certainly looked like they went and added Wilson and Jennings, with the idea that Cam wasn't going to be back.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting. And Chris Rumpf, they re-signed as well. There's not enough room for all those guys. So somebody's not making the team, or injuries could always sort things out. And the one that's really interesting, I think, for Cam's role is Anthony Jennings, because his specialty has been being an edge rusher who's really good at run defense, and that's Cam's thing. So, Tyree Wilson might be more of a pass rush specialist. Chris Rumpf is a lot smaller. He's a 6'2", outside linebacker for a 3-4 defense. Cam is a big defensive end who's great against the run. So I do wonder if there's room for him and Chase Young and Carl Granderson and Anthony Jennings all to play in the same game. Sometimes this stuff sorts itself out. Not all these guys are always available all the time. You need depth. But it will be interesting. I mean, I think his snaps will have to be affected if both of those guys prove worthy of making the team.
Mike Triplett, New Orleans.Football, at Mike Triplett, if you want to give him a follow. Is there anything, I don't want to say anything, but what is notable, worth watching at Minicamp?
Well, obviously everything that takes place in the passing game. So quarterback, pass catchers, pass defenders, defensive backs, linebackers, and sometimes ends dropping into coverage. All that is highly competitive. Offensive and defensive line and run game is useless to try to watch. But quarterback timing, quarterback rhythm, receiver routes, defensive backs, you can make pretty decent judgments on those guys for sure, especially when you're talking about everything we want to see is related to Kellen Moore installing an offense and Tyler Shuck running it.
Alvin Kamara is someone you mentioned. Do you expect any update on Kamara before training camp?
I've thrown my expectations out the window because this one has been so messy and so unique. It's not like, they've asked, I just said it, they've asked, for 2 decades, they've asked franchise icons to take pay cuts. Deuce McAllister all the way through to Demario Davis, Cam Jordan. It's fine. You do that. You cut players. They've cut franchise icons because it's a cold, hard business, and it's not even what have you done for me lately, what are you going to do for me next? But they haven't asked Alvin to take a pay cut. They're handling this so strangely, Matt. They're kind of like, I don't know, hoping he chooses to walk away. It's weird. They're almost ghosting him. They were surprised when he showed up last week, and he was pulling a move on them. Guess what? If you guys aren't going to call me, I'm just going to show up. And what are you going to do about it? And then today he shows up, and they don't use him in 7-on-7 or 11-on-11. I don't know what their end game is here. I don't know why they haven't offered him a pay cut yet. I don't know why they haven't cut him yet. And if they want to keep him, boy, they are letting the relationship get a little fractured. If they plan to keep him, this isn't how you treat someone. So I have no idea if it's he's an asset We don't want to just cut him because maybe we'll need him in September if there's injuries, or maybe another team will come calling if they have injuries, and we'll be glad we held on to him. But otherwise, I have no idea why they've waited till mid-June without even discussing a new contract with him. They're obviously not going to keep him at his current contract. That I know for a fact. But why they haven't even talked pay cut or offered a pay cut, I have no idea.
It sounds like you just described the plot to How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
It is. I think I made the police academy, Steve Gutenberg trying to get fired from the police academy because he couldn't quit analogy, but yours might be better. Yeah.
It's so weird. What do you think happens?
I think ultimately I'm still going to predict that he stays in place for this team because I think he's the second best running back on the team. I think he's better than Devin Neal. I think he's better than Audric Estime, and they're trying to build a team that can win the NFC South. So why not have some depth there and have Alvin Kamara as your 1B or capable backup or change of pace guy in the passing game. So I still keep thinking that makes sense, but what they've done doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know if I can apply logic to the situation.
It's Mike Triplett, Orleans.Football, at Mike Triplett. Is there anything else last thing that you saw today that I haven't asked about that I should have asked about because you were there and I wasn't?
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to deciding what's going to make or break this team, I think it's the secondary. Injuries.
Oh.
It's injuries number one. I really like their offensive line. They lose any one of those guys, they're in trouble. The receivers, if they lose a lot of Air Tyson, they're in trouble. I mean, that's what's going to make or break this team. But as far as their healthy players, there's so many question marks in this secondary. Kool-Aid McKinstry had a really good day today. He's had a couple of those. I think we've liked what we've seen from Jonas Sanker trying to move into that star position. I think we've liked what we've seen from Julian Blackman in that deep safety position. But, man, that they all have to work. So you can evaluate them in a passing camp, and I'd say so far it's been a positive OTAs and minicamp for Sanker in a new job, Julian Blackman back in that other job, and Kool-Aid McKinstry sort of being the man now with Alontae Taylor gone. But those three guys have to, they have to have a great training camp. They have to have a great season because it all kind of falls apart if those guys aren't really, really good.
That's interesting. I can certainly agree, but well said. Mike Triplett, Orleans.Football. Always appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, bud. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020. 924-2020. You want to see 2020? Call the Williamson Eye Center over at 924-2020. Hey, I want to remind you also, I think for a lot of people, maybe you might think, I don't know that I can afford to have refractive procedure. Don't let cost be an option. They have financing available, 24 months of 0% or deferred interest. There's actually a cost calculator on the website where you can look at what your lifetime spent on contacts and glasses and supplies would be, and you can compare that to the cost of a refractive procedure, of having LASIK or PRK or the custom lens replacement. And I think you'll probably be interested to find, lifetime, this is actually a more affordable cost-saving option. Just go for that consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson. Get rid of the contacts and glasses forever. Let the Williamson Eye Center help. 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Rolling along here in the 5 o'clock hour, and glad you are driving home with us. Hoping you're making the most of these summer days. If you're on vacation, still taking us with you, we appreciate you for being there while the kiddos are out of school. We're here every day and glad that you are as well. Otter will be along in 15 minutes. Otter locks are posted at LouisianaSports.net. You can always get them for free there at LouisianaSports.net. Let me knock out a quick break. Got in my inbox today updated conference championship odds. Notably, everyone wanted to know an update with Texas Tech, now not having Brendan Sorsby, but got all of the conference championship odds. A few takeaways. We'll get to that as we continue on AFR.
After Further Review.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, and they are into just plant something mode with so many beautiful summer option. How about these gorgeous caladiums? They look like the big elephant ears. I mean, we have these all over our backyard as well. Find your favorite beautiful plant, flowers, trees, whatever it is to beautify your outdoor space, your flower beds, your patio pots. Maybe you want to plant some of Johnny Naylor seeds. They got tons of those over at Clegg's as well. The bottom line is, at any of the 4 locations, they have chock full greenhouses of beautiful flowers with shipments arriving daily, and the helpful horticulturists with the knowledge and know-how to help you find the right thing for your backyard or outdoor space to beautify that area and bring you so much enjoyment. It's Clegg's Nursery. They've been doing it for 60 years, y'all. So buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you into Clegg's Nursery.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Well, she ain't into cars or pickup trucks, but if it runs like a deer, man, her eyes light up. She thinks my tractor sexy. It really turns her on. She's always staring at me.
Is hunting season really coming up? I guess so. This note from Grace earlier today at Sunshine said, hey, hunting season's coming up. Time to start getting your call ready with Sunshine. Okay. I guess so. Fall is usually...
I was about to say, like, we're talking like deer season?
I guess.
Something like that?
Y'all know, I mean, that ain't me. But, I mean, you need a deer. Not like a deer that you're going to go shoot. Deer season's coming. But I mean, like, deer. D-E-E-R-E. John Deere season is here. Bunky and below. You want a deer? What?
I liked that.
What?
Deer season is here. I like that.
And why do you think I'm sitting in this chair?
I that was a good. Well, I mean, strikes and gutters going sometimes with your puns there.
Why do you think I got this? Why do you think I got this list of advertisers, Muse?
But I mean, like, that one was good.
Don't you ever say strikes and gutters with my puns again? There's some things that just will not stand. Criticizing a pun. I love a pun, as we know here. There's no joke. I love a pun. You don't like puns, you can get the hell out of here.
You don't like, I mean, yes, considering we're in America, if you don't like spaghetti and meatballs, you can just get the hell out of here.
What does spaghetti and meatballs have anything to do with this?
That
We're
reminded
talking
me
about
of.
puns. We're talking about puns.
When you were like, you get the hell out of here. That's what it reminded me of.
What it reminds you of?
Actually, of Big Daddy.
What about Big Daddy?
That's a quote from Big Daddy.
No,
Actually,
it's not.
Yes,
I was talking about
hungry.
John Deere.
But yeah,
puns,
I could
and
eat.
puns. John Deere and puns is what I was talking about. You started talking about spaghetti and meatballs.
Mm-hmm.
They go together like lamb and
There we go. There he is.
I can't resist. That's a good movie. If you haven't seen Big Daddy in a while, go see. That was 1999. When a little Muse needed Marilyn Monroe Musso. Why did I go Marilyn Monroe Musso to wipe his booty still, I bet.
We had that one. We had Big Daddy on the VHS. It's quality.
Who didn't? LSU edge target Abraham Cisse. Remember him? A big edge rusher from the East Coast that 5-star was visiting a couple weeks ago. LSU really put forth a good effort for Cisse and gave him a lot to think about. Well, he's picked Notre Dame. I don't think that's really a surprise. Notre Dame was always thought to be the leader there. So Abraham Cisse off the board. He's picked the Fighting Irish. So LSU has KJ Green, 5-star elite edge rusher. It'll be interesting to see if they could land another. They've certainly hosted plenty of them, and you just see. I mean, I think the way that I think about, react to, consider high school recruiting classes now and prospects is just so different than what we've always done and thought about and looked at with these recruiting classes. It's so hard to react to a high school commitment and be excited or disappointed or anything like that, because you just have so many ways to build and supplement your roster that the impact of a high school recruit is just so minimized, unless if you're talking about someone that you expect is going to step on campus day one and be an impact guy. So if you can get like Ahmad Hudson was massive for LSU because of the way that this offense features the tight end, and because Trey'Dez Green is going pro after this year, you add Ahmad Hudson, boom, massive, plug and play, great athlete. I mean, immediate impact guy. That is massive. You know what I mean? Like Lamar Brown is going to be an immediate contributor at defensive end or edge for LSU this season as a true freshman, unequivocally. Massive, making sure you kept him in this class. You know, aside from those guys that you think are going to be immediate impact guys, and even if you miss out on those types of guys, you're just going to go into the portal and find proven college players that can supplement. So I just think it's way easier now to take high school recruiting with a grain of salt. If you get players you want, awesome, celebrate it. If guys that you want go somewhere else, okay, like you're going to be fine. It's no longer about building 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive elite level recruiting classes to build your depth. It's about building a roster for this year. Because next year there's going to be a new crop of guys. It's why like not signing, Josh Dobson or if Albert Simeon ends up going to A&M, just okay. Like LSU's going to be good on the offensive line in 2027, whether Simeon's there or not. And maybe somewhere down the line he goes in the portal, you sign him then. All right, it's after further review. I do want to talk about these updated conference championship odds, which I think is pretty fascinating. We'll get to that in a second. Oh, real quick reminder. Today's the 16th. So the 19th, 3 days, is the last day to enter for a fortified roof, that grant program through the LDI, the Louisiana Department of Insurance. PSA, if you go to parishbuilt.com, that's our company at Parish Construction and Roofing. Go to parishbuilt.com. Right there at the top of the homepage, there's the blue bar. It says click here to apply for the LDI Fortified Roofing Grant. Just click that blue bar. It'll take you directly to the LDI website. It's the Louisiana Department of Insurance that is opening up this grant program. 3,000 Louisiana homeowners will be awarded a grant up to $10,000 to install a fortified roof. At Parish, we're a certified fortified roofing company, and we'd love to help you out. So go to the website, fill out the paperwork. If you're awarded a grant, we'd love to walk you through that process and help you. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Again, the 19th is the last. You get 3 days, the last day to enter into that. Go to the portal and enter the lottery for one of the $10,000 grants through the Louisiana Department of Insurance. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing. This is no doubt going to change a bunch in the coming days and weeks, but Bovada has updated, so on the offshore sites, has updated conference championship odds. I'll ask Jimmy his thoughts on this. Interestingly, Texas, a plus 280 favorite to win the SEC, followed by Georgia at plus 350 next. LSU at plus 700. LSU's ahead of A&M, ahead of Alabama, ahead of Ole Miss, ahead of Oklahoma. Teams that made the college football playoff a year ago, LSU's ahead of all of them. I think it's a major hat tip and major respect for Lane Kiffin. Big Ten, Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, and then a gigantic drop-off to USC and Michigan. So Ohio State plus 190, Indiana plus 250, Oregon plus 275. So really consolidated there at the top with those three. In the ACC, just give the thing to Miami. Miami's minus 140. Next is SMU at plus 700. Freaking joke. By the way, the Big 12, which just saw its prohibitive favorite Texas Tech lose their starting quarterback, still has Texas Tech at minus 105, followed by BYU at plus 650. I mean, basically, Miami in the ACC and Texas Tech in the Big 12 should be just runaways. Also interesting, man, the Pac-12 is back this year with all those Mountain West teams going into the Pac-12. So Boise State is favored to win the Pac-12 this year, which is weird to say, but worth remembering. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us. Tuesday show powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Let me knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back. Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks. Don't you move. AFR.
AFR.
REV, let's rev.com. Or better yet, go to revfiber.com. Revfiber.com. RevFiber is their new marquee product as they continue at Rev expanding their fiber network across parts of our state. Just a few months ago, Rev came into my neighborhood, laid fiber. We immediately switched. My parents had Rev for years. They loved Rev and loved this customer service. They're now laying fiber in my parents' new neighborhood, so they're obviously a Rev customer. And it's not just residential. Commercial as well for your business. At Parish Construction Roofing, we are a Rev customer. Actually, one of the Rev commercials that's running, you'll see it, like Terrio's on it. They came into our office at Parish and shot one of the commercials, interviewed Ryan, talked to him about how we do business with Rev. So practice what I preach here with Rev. Both my home and our business, we're Rev customers. RevFiber.com. RevFiber.com. Better coverage for less money. That's what you get at Insurance Network of Louisiana. And you also get great people that go to work for you. I know I told you the story, but in case you missed it, I'll repeat it. But last week, bought a new car over at South Point Volkswagen. While I was there, they needed proof of insurance. Couldn't find my insurance card. Shocker. Probably a lot of people in the same boat there. I actually texted Adam. He was at the beach, so he got in touch with Jay, who then texted me within 2 minutes. I had my proof of insurance in my inbox, and then they took over from there, called South Point, and got everything switched for my new vehicle on my insurance. I did nothing. So not only do they work to find you better coverage for less money, it's free to have them shop. When you switch, they're your agent. So they are looking out for you and helping you with all this stuff. They're a text away at any time. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or online at lainsurance.net.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Down. Excuse me. That's better. Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Yo, Otter, what up?
What's going on, Matthew?
Man, how about Oklahoma beating Georgia last night? My
How about that,
gracious.
Huh?
I mean...
Yeah, I can't believe Texas and Georgia in the elimination game tonight. That's hard to believe.
Well, I'm cheering for Texas. I want LSU's home run record to stand, and I don't need Georgia, who hit 3 homers in the loss last night, getting any closer to that 1997 record. So
solo shots. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So guys swinging for 3-run homers with the bases empty. So 10 more flyouts / pop-ups last night, and that was a concern coming in for the Georgia Bulldogs, the biggest launching pad in all of college baseball. Would it apply to the most pitching-friendly park when you get to the College World Series? Now they're pitching; they got 2 complete games, and so I mean they're pitching. They can attack the strike zone a lot more when the ball's not flying out like it does. So we get to tonight's game, and boy, it's been right around a pick 'em, shaded to Georgia just a slight bit. The win is basically a non-factor tonight, just a little bit out to center, but not as much as it was blowing out to left center last night when the total still came under. I like Texas in this game tonight, so I think that they are going to be facing tougher pitching than what they did last night. Texas has options if their starter is not exactly on tonight. So I think Texas can beat you different ways. So I think the Georgia Bulldogs may be out of it after tonight. So we're going with the Texas Longhorns. I actually found a little plus money on that, but right around a pick 'em, even money. I forget what it is right now.
It's minus $1.10 on Texas and minus 120 on Georgia.
Yeah, so Texas on the money line in that one. 3 Major League Baseballs. We almost swept it last night. We, kind of courageous and ambitious, whatever you want, foolish maybe. You going against the Dodgers, but we had a lead out at Chavez Ravine, lost by 1 run, fell short of that sweep. Going to go to Cincinnati. The Reds taking on the Mets. Tre Segarra, he's struggling a little bit. Last 3 starts in 8 1/3 innings pitched, he's given up 16 earned runs. That's not good. So that's 18. 18. The Reds are a capable lineup at home. Disappointment. They started out so well. They were part of that National League Central Division that had all winning records right now. It's kind of settled down, but Reds should take care of business tonight. Singer is improving as of late. He is not at his best. Speaking of the College World Series, against LSU that year. All right, and then we go into Texas minus 30 against Minnesota.
1 minute remaining.
Zebby Matthews has been our favorite fade for the Twins, so we're going to fade him again, take Texas minus 130. And then tonight we're going back to the well. Detroit hit for us last night. They are in much better form than the Astros right now. Hunter Brown has thrown well, but only 2 starts. They're still limiting his pitch count right now. Framber Valdez, the former Astro, we're going to take Valdez plus 55 or so. So we're going to take Detroit, Texas, and the Reds money line in Texas in the College World Series.
Yeah, Framber Valdez against his former team. How about Kumar Rocker going for the Rangers tonight? Speaking of all those SEC
improving.
arms,
He's getting better and better. Better. Last 6 starts have been pretty good.
All right, the Longhorns in the CWS and the Reds, Rangers, and Tigers. Those are your Otter locks. You can always get them at LouisianaSports.net. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
Sammy's Prairieville location,
Nice.
Old Perkins, just off of Airline.
Not far from the crib. We appreciate it, Otter. Thanks.
Good luck.
All right, man. We'll see you. Muse, Paulie, thanks. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. First Southland. Nope. No. I got it. Well, that still works. I got to keep. God, old habits die hard. Yes, FirstSouthLand.com does work, but new URL is spell out the name. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. 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 If you're thinking of buying land, you want to learn about a land loan and why you need to do business with a land lender, a local land lender that has helped Louisianians buy land since 1913, you want First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. That's where you start. They have the ultimate recreational land buying guide. That's a free resource on the website. It's a great resource. Listen, if you're going to go buy land, if it's for tax purposes, for an investment property, maybe it's to build your family's dream home, maybe it's your recreational property, hunting property, you want to be educated, you want to be informed, do it right there at FirstSouthFarmCredit.com.